Hello, welcome to Little Vintage World. And today I just wanted to have a bit of a chatty sort of video, so grab yourself a cup of tea or a beverage of your choice and let's have a chat. I want to talk to you about how I got into history in the first place. So you probably all know I love history. I think I've always loved history. It's one of my great loves, and I've loved history for an awfully long time, and I thought I'd tell you how I got into it in the first place, because it's probably not what you think. So we have to rewind back to when I was at school. Now, I grew up in England. I was born here, raised here, and went to school in England. And the schooling system when I was at school, which was a few years ago now, we studied in history the ancient Romans and ancient Egyptians, blah, blah, blah. And then when it kind of comes to Britain, so Roman Britain and then Celts, Vikings, etc., and then moving up, that's kind of where we went off. And then we got to a point in history where we got to the Tudors, and I remember we had this kind of test thing, and it was on pieces of paper, and you had a picture of each of the 6 wives of Henry VIII. And then jumbled up you had the names of the wives, and also jumbled up you had what happened to them. So you had divorced per head to die, divorced per head to survive. And where the picture was, you had to put on top the name of that said person, and then underneath the picture what happened to them. So obviously you put Catherine of Aragon next to the first picture, and then you'd put divorced. I know that now. At school, when this happened, I had no idea. I was looking around to one side, to the other side, looking around everywhere, and everyone was just literally scribbling away. And I felt like I was literally the only person who couldn't remember who the 6 wives were, the names of them, what happened to them, no idea. And at school, I was a geek. I'm a proud geek now, and I was a proud geek then. And I think there's this common misconception that just because you're quite geeky makes you clever. I'm not very clever. I worked hard and I achieved C grades, and that was a good thing for me. I'm not naturally gifted, so I had to work very hard at school. And at school you had homework that you needed to do, and then you had kind of projects that if you wanted to do, you could, which, being me, being geeky, wanting to learn, I did it. And for history at that time, it was a project where you made, like, out of boxes and stuff, a Tudor house. So my dad kind of did it for me out of like cereal boxes and tissue boxes and stuff, and we painted it together. Now, I say we painted it together. My dad did most of it. Because my dad's got like nice fine lines, and you can see the lines that I've done, these big thick blodges of black paint. I was just like, oh dear. I think I did most of the reef though. I think I did that because you can't go wrong painting one colour on one section. And while we were doing it and doing the project and painting away, my dad said to me, oh, how's it going? How's the class going? Blah, blah, blah. And I kind of just said to him, I'm struggling a bit with it. And then after I kind of said that, it was kind of all systems go on to try and make it easy for me and try and improve myself. So they spoke to me about it and tried to teach me themselves, and they got me lots of books on the subject. And I mean, my mum liked history when she was at school. My dad still absolutely loves history now. My dad is really into the Second World War, in particular the kind of British political sort of side of the Second World War, so the strategies of Winston Churchill, etc. He likes stuff that's going on as well, like, on the battlefield, but he likes Winston Churchill, so my dad is absolutely fascinating to talk to with history and learn so much from him. So my parents really pushed me and helped me into learning more about the Tudors. So it got to a point where I was learning about them, and it got to a point where I understood, and then it got to a point where I started to enjoy it, and I just kept going until I fell in love with it. And here I am now. So the Tudors is my first love, because it's actually the point where I struggled. And for me, I'm not one of these people that when you struggle with something you give up. I'm one of these people that when I struggle with something I push myself into doing it again and again and again until actually I love it. And now the thing that I found the hardest is now the thing that I love the most, and it is my dream job is to be a historian, and I love history. And the Tudor period is still my favourite period in history. I think it's fascinating, and it's where my journey began, and it's where it continues. So I hope you find that a little bit interesting or a bit fascinating about me. If you have any questions or you just want to chat to me in the comments, please do. Let's talk all things history, because I just can't get enough. And that's it for this little video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up, and I shall see you soon for the next one. Take care for now. Bye.